Hey guys, and welcome back to Dominions 5 Wars of the Faith with me, Time and Tactics. It's time for a new Let's Play of Dominions 5 with your favorite nation, Bandar Log. But wait a minute, Time and Tactics, you already played this not too long ago. Well, I did, but I lost, and I didn't do as well as I wanted to, and I think there's more to do with Bandar Log in a different setup. I'm going to go a different way this time. Let's jump into it, and let's do it by starting by looking at the inspector. I'm going to look at our units to see what we get. Here's how I pulled up the units that we can look at. The DOM 5 mod inspector, my favorite tool, probably your favorite tool too. So we have Bandar Log, and if you don't know, Bandar Log is basically we have apes, right? But we have also many summonable units we're going to look at here. So I've selected summoned, and I've selected national only. So we're going to look at the ones that are specific to us or to any nation that can have them. So in this case there's 3 over here, but anyway, let's take a look at them and let's talk about what I had in mind. Basically, let's cut to the chase. I'm gonna go for a blood style Bandar Log in this Let's Play. Blood and death. We'll see how that goes. But let's start by looking at the units, because that's where I got that idea from. Well, actually, I got the idea from last time. I wanted to do some blood, but I think I can do it better than last time. So let's look at that here. So blood. What do you do with blood? Well, it is good to have a blood mage when you start out, which we don't have as Bandar Log, so we have to work around that. Or pretender is what I'm thinking there. But for Bandar Log specifically, there are some good units you can get. These are all the commanders here, huh? But there's 2 of them here with blood, but also the units themselves that you can summon are quite good, and let me show you here. First of all, at blood 1 we have the Rakshasa, and by blood 1 I mean if you research blood 1 you have this available, the summon Rakshasa. If you have a blood mage level 1 and spend 10 blood slaves, you get 3 of these Rakshasas. And at first glance, they may not look that good, right? They have no armor at all. And their weapon here doesn't have any extra damage. It is just a claw. But it's not as bad as you think. Even this unit is not bad in the right circumstance, I think, anyway. If you look at it here, they have a very low protection. Defense is nothing to write home about at all. Morale is decent. They have good strength though, so that is very helpful. Attack is somewhat okay, and have a lot of hit points. A couple of things they have is the 2 attacks here, 2 claws. And that's huge, because when you get to attack more than once, it's like you had another unit there that could attack. So whenever you get a chance to do 2 attacks, 2 meaningful attacks, and I think these are meaningful, even the base damage of 19 is not bad. When you get a chance to do it, I'd say take it. So I'm very happy with them here as a base unit. Level 1, that's not bad at all. But there's more to it than that. They also have Chaos Power. That means, in Chaos Power 1 here, that means that if you have turmoil in a specific province, every point of turmoil, you can have up to 3, will give you 1 extra, that's the one here, in a number of your attributes. Strength, attack, defense, protection, I don't know protection on top of my head now, but strength is one of them. So if you have, let's say, 3 turmoil, you would get 3 more. They would suddenly be strength 22. Now you're talking massive damage, actually. And that is, they don't have to be they don't have to be blessed or anything like that. They just get it from the province itself. So let's put that in our and remember that we can get that if we have turmoil. So on top of that, they're sacred. So if you get a good summon, you might be able to get something to complement that, maybe even. Then there are demons, and they have a negative factor on fire here, so that's a bit of a problem there. But for a level 1, I don't think it's bad at all. They have another, their cousin over here, the Rakshasa warrior. Sorry about that. The Rakshasa warrior. It is basically an upgraded version of it, but there's a few differences here. This one requires you to have blood 4, quite a bit later, right? Also Chaos Power 1, also sacred. They only have one weapon though. but instead of strength 19, they have strength 20 plus the cudgel 8. So that means they do 28 damage. Now, they're also sacred, so that's good. We can have the same summons on them, but they only get the one attack. They do get the protection of 15 though, so there is that. It's a good one, but it may not work as well for my particular bless that I have in mind, but we'll see how that goes. That's a blood 4. In between blood 1 and blood 4 is blood 2 and 3, and there is another unit there that I want to take a look at, and that's the Azrapa over here. The Azrapa requires blood 3. Now let's look at them carefully here. As you can see, they have also poor protection. Very poor protection. Okay, so poor protection, but they have chaos power 1. So again, they're going to get more strength, and they need it here, right? Because they have 13. Plus then, if you do have turmoil 3, I'm just saying, it would be 16. It'd be okay. And they're Berserker 3. So if they get injured, they get a boost to their strength, for instance. Negative modifier to defense, but not bad, right? Pretty interesting. Both of them, by the way, are size 3, so we can fit 2 of them in each square if we get these. Now, the weapon they have is this Athami, or Atham. It does 4 damage extra on top of the strength. So 13 plus 4, 17. Or if you have turmoil, you would get 20. And then it does partial life drain, which means that when they attack somebody and do damage, they get to count up to 5 of the damage as extra hit points on them. So I believe they can go up higher than their 19 hit points that they have at the beginning, which is pretty darn good. And they do 2 attacks here, so unlike the claw, which is I believe just 1, yeah, just a 1. So that is a good weapon. And then they have a kick that doesn't do any extra damage, so it's only 13 or turmoil 16. So it's really quite a good one. And they are sacred as well. Sacred is very good. So between the 2 of them here, if we can get up to blood 3, between these 2, we can do quite a bit of damage. Now, this gray area here means that this is what you get if you are able to turn them into a commander. You take one of your regular units and turn them into a commander. And there is a couple of spells. Let me see. What are they again? Let me see. The Gift of Reason, Thaumaturgy 5, takes 20 nature gems. You can create a commander. It'd be great to do that with the Azrapa because they would turn into a blood 1 commander and a holy 1. So not terrible, right? That means you would get more blood mages. Something to keep in mind. So Thaumaturgy 5. There's also something called Divine Name. Thaumaturgy 7. You can get also there. You can get using Astral Pearls to make a unit a commander. So there's something to think about there. So at the beginning of the game, or earlier in the game, these would be pretty good. Azrapa and Rakshasa only take level 3 in blood to get it. What else is there? Well, we have another one, the Possessed Corpse here. And I was looking at that one last time. This one is not... It is not blood, actually. This one here. This is Conjuration 5. Between Conjuration and blood, you have a lot of units you can get as Bandar Log. But this one here turns into 2 forms. And once the first form dies, the second one comes in. And this one, as you can see, has life drain. Not partial life drain, but full life drain. So it's going to gain hit points if it survives. It has pretty poor protection. And unlike the Azrapa and the Rakshasa, they're not actually sacred. So you can't boost them that way. And they don't get any boost to chaos power. But you can see here, they're ethereal. The Tala itself is ethereal. That means 3 out of 4 attacks are going to miss. 75% of attacks are going to miss. So they're not bad. They're not bad. They also do, they have that Touch of Madness. And that means you get Feeble Mind, which reduces your magic resistance by 5. Can be important. And for these, what do we get? Some of the Talas. You get 10 of these corpses for 10 gems. So it's not a bad one. So that's death, right? Needs to be a level 2 death mage. We'll see if we can do that as well. So that's the Vitala. We can put it here. Yeah. There was another one I was going to look at, the Ghana. The Ghana is Conjuration again. Here we have the possessed corpse. That's Conjuration 5. But at Conjuration 2, you get the Host of Ganas. It is not fantastic. I'll tell you why I like it, though. It is not great, but it has a couple things that are pretty good. First of all, it is, well, the best thing about it is the Host of Ganas spell itself. It's a ritual, needs a level 1 Death Mage, doesn't take much, and we only need Conjuration 2. And for 12 gems, sounds expensive, we get 20 of them. That's not bad. The defense is decent, so that's good. Also on top of that, they are ethereal, so 75% of all attacks will miss, unless they're magical attacks, magical weapons. But you're not going to have that at the beginning of the game, and these at Conjuration level 2 is not going to, you're going to get them fairly early on, hopefully, right? But also they are poor amphibians. We could use these to get into the water, maybe, right? A couple negatives though, don't get too excited about them. This one here, Spectral Club, check morale, magic resistance for half damage. So if you roll against your magic resistance, then you, and I think it's 10. If you check 10 versus magic resistance and you roll 2d6 and all that normal stuff, then if you survive that or you're past that, then you only take half damage. So they're not going to do a ton of damage. They have a Spectral Shield as well there. Not a ton of damage, but you can put them out there, and with morale 15, they're going to last for a while. Plus, their etherealness will help them to last, right? So you could have them take the hit, maybe from a charge of heavy cab, I'm thinking. So, Conjuration 2, Blood 1, 2, and, well, 1 and 3 will give us some good stuff. The Vitala, what do we need? That's Conjuration 5, so it's a little bit higher there. Anyway, that's the Ghana. So now we're talking about some Conjuration, some Blood. There's a lot more here. Maybe we'll just talk about the initial take that I have on here. But if I can get into the Rakshasa and the Zarapa, I think a lot is won there. I want to point out, though, something. Well, I guess we can talk about that later too, but there's a lot of mages here that we can get, and also a lot of other units. Like I showed the Rakshasa warrior here. Maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't, because of the bless that I have in mind. There are other ones as well, but they're going to be quite a bit later on. But what they have in common, they have chaos power. So keep that in mind. For a lot of these summon units with blood, this is blood 7, for this Samina Shada, they also have chaos power 1, and they have dark power 2. That's going to be important for the map that I had in mind, Ridge Pass. And here's another one, dark power 1, chaos power 1. We'll look at them as we get into the game, I think. So anyway, that's the idea. We'll go for blood, conjuration, death. We'll see how that all works out. Yeah, and the death part, I'm thinking about it for that too, because of the bless we could potentially do. I'd say we jump into, we can look at this a bit later. Let's jump into the Pretender design and see what that looks like here. There, now let's go back in and see. We'll go to our, where is it? Tools and manuals. Create a Pretender God. Let me do that now. Okay, we're going to go with the Middle Ages, and that's where we find Bandar Log. Let's see, that's Bandar Log right here. In the dense forest of Bandar is a realm of intelligent apes. The exceptionally smart white ones are sacred and blessed with the gift of magic. Right, let's go ahead and check them out. We'll look at these later. I have another Let's Play of Bandar Log. I'll explain them as I recruit them, though. And we have a lot of units here, but I've looked at them already, so I kind of know them by now. So, for our Pretender. Now, since we're going to go with blood, I have found one here, the Fountain of Blood, for 160 points. Let's say we go with that one. We'll pick that one. It has blood 3, which is great. We can do a lot of blood with it. It also has a blood searcher ability of 3. That means for the purpose of finding blood slaves, we add 3 to our level in blood magic. That is level 6. That means we get more blood slaves every time we search for blood slaves with the Fountain of Blood. That is a pretty good start. Now, new magic pass will cost 40. We get Dominion 4. Let's see what we can do with that. What I had in mind was, if we go just one higher, we get a bless that we can do. And the bless I'm thinking about is the Blood Surge. There was actually one more unit I want to show you. Let me just switch over real quick now that I think about it. We'll go over again here. So if you look here at our units, there is another one. Let me see if I can find it. Search. Yeah, it's here. Not the Azrapa. That's the one we looked at. This one. But the Apsara. It's Conjuration 3. Remember we had Conjuration 2. We can get some units. Was it the Ghana? Yeah, that's 2. At 3 in Conjuration, we get the Apsara. The Apsara is not generally very strong here. If you look at it, 20 hit points is good. That's pretty decent. And by the way, these are also size 3, so they take up more space than a human. They have good defense though. They have no protection, really. That's important for the bless here I'm thinking about. They have pretty decent morale, good magic resistance as well. They only have one weapon though, a kick. The kick does their strength 13, similar to the Azrapa. What it does have though is being sacred. So again, the bless will be effective. And they have Awe 4. That means you roll, I think you have to roll your magic resistance, no, your morale. I think it's your morale against 12 plus 4, 16. And then both roll is added up. You add 2d6 to both rolls and see which one is higher. So very possibly, if somebody attacks them, they may not be able to attack them. They have to stop, basically. So it's a little bit like being ethereal, if you like. But that goes for anybody attacking them. The problem is, right, that their protection is pretty low. So if you look at that, yeah, they're not going to do much damage. 13, they can maybe take a hit for a while with the 20 hit points. But this is the spell here. Look at this spell here. It's a ritual. It's a level 3 conjuration. You need to be a level 2 astral mage. And for Bandar Log, we have a lot of astral mages. Our gurus, our second level mage we can get is a level 2 astral mage. We can use them here to recruit them. And you get 3. You get 3 of these Apsaras. These Apsaras for 2 gems. That is not much. We can just keep on pumping that out. That is not much at all. So if we have a good bless, let's take a look at that bless now. Let's jump into the game again. Here it is. So if we take that Blood Surge, if you look at that, remember we have sacred units coming out of our, everywhere. So we have sacred beings. If we were able to get them blessed, then they get 3 extra attack, 3 strength, and 1 extra defense, and 1 reinvigoration if they kill somebody. So they have to do that, but that means our damage will go from 13 to 16, which is a pretty big deal. That's the strength part. And attack would go up across the board, and defense would go up. That's a pretty good one. I think for 4 points of blood, that's the best we can do. So let's take that. Yeah, there it is. Blood Surge. We used up all 4 points. We have 257 left here, and I want to see if I can make it awake, because that means we would use them immediately. We can start blood hunting if we need to. And we can also use them for research and get more mages quicker with better abilities. So I would like to do that if I possibly can, and I think I can. I found a way to do it. Now the next thing I want to do is to get death. I want to get to death 5, I think. And it's going to be expensive, right? We only have 105 points left. So now we have a level 5 death mage, and I'll tell you why I want that, but we'll look at we'll look at that now, the bless effect. I would like to get this one, the Stygian Flesh. Blessed units will become resistant to non-magical damage, 10 invulnerability. That means that you get up to 10 extra protection. So if you have 1, you go to 10. If you have 5, you go to 10 against non-magic weapons. But you have to have your pretender in the game. They cannot be imprisoned. They cannot be dormant. They have to be in the game. Why is this good? Well, remember the Apsara, 1 protection? They would have 10 now. The Ghana, the one that has spectral shield, 0 protection. No, they would not get it. They are not second. Never mind them. But the Azrapa, the Apsara and the Azrapa, both of them would go from 1 to 10 in protection, which would make a difference, I think. So that would be affecting all of our sacred units. And if we look, if I press F5 here, I can see all the spells. So let's go down to Blood Magic here, and we'll press R for rituals. You can see here, anything in blue is special to us. There's the Rakshasa that I like for 10 Blood Mages. Feast of Flesh, that's 50. We haven't looked at that one, but maybe later. Azrapa is here. That's 11 Blood Mages. I mean, not Blood Mages, Blood Slaves. And then it goes up from there. What I've found here, we have a couple of ones here. The Sanjabalas, they take 1 death. It'd be good to get a death. So I definitely want 1 death at least. And because we spent 40 points, it would be nice to have that set up to continue down the path of death. And I think getting a Stygian skin is a good thing to get then. Even though we could get another mage, maybe that could do this as well. And then down here we have the Dakini. It takes a level 4 blood and level 1 air. Air is quite good. So if we go back here, that takes 81 blood slaves, but it's a good one. If we go and say 1 there, it takes 40 points. I know it's a lot here. We not only will be able to get the Dakini, and the Dakini, let's see if we can find it here. There's that. The Dakini, there. If you look at this one here, this is a pretty interesting one, I think. Again, Sacred, Chaos Power 1, remember that? Fear 6. So they have to roll against fear, or they can't, they might run away. So, what they also have, they are flying and sacred, like I said. They have that weapon here, the partial life drain, just like the Azrapa does. And they have a little bit of armor, so protection 12. So also the what we said, Stygian skin, it doesn't affect armor. If you hover over this here, you can see. You can't see it. There's okay. Anyway, the normal skin protection is only 1. That would go up to 10, while they would still keep their regular armor. So they would get much more armor than just 12. They would get up towards 20, I think. But what they also have is they are level 3 air, 1 death, and 3 blood, and 2 holy. That is a very powerful combination, I think. We can do a lot with them. We need to be blood 6 though to do it, but they seem pretty good to me. Defense 13, magic resistance is pretty high. We can definitely use them here, I think. So that's a Dakini, but to do it, we have to have somebody with blood and air. So that's good. Let's jump back into blood. Any other combo? Well, there is a death there. There is death here as well. The Summonishada, 3 blood, 1 death, and here was 2 blood, 1 death for the Sanjabalas. Down here, 5 blood. We only have 4, and then 2 death. We get the Mandeha. Now, that's a very good, very powerful unit. I don't know if I showed you that earlier. Let me see here. Mandeha. This guy. Look at this guy here. He has Chaos Power 2, Dark Power 3, and that's gonna. When I show you the map, you're gonna see why that is important. Chaos Power 2. That means if you have Turmoil 3, you get effectively 3 times 2, 6 extra in strength attack and defense. Not 100% on protection, if that actually is affected. Fear as well. They're 8. Overall, very strong, as you can see here, right? So we'll see. But that is something I can do right away if we have our pretender being strong in death and blood. And I think that's the best we can do. There's Donovas there too, but it's only blood. So now I think that builds a case for having this set up here. We have 65 points left, but we talked about turmoil, right? Now, unfortunately, if you go up in turmoil, or down in order, if you like, we're going to lose income. It's going to be more unrest. Recruitment points going to go down. Resource going to go down. Events going to increase down. So let's say we go to 3. We gain points back, 185. That's not terrible, right? we have to make up for the income. There, though, -9 somehow. So we'll see how we do with that. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Now, there's one thing that I was wanting to do, and that is, if you think about blood, the problem with blood is that when you look for blood slaves, what happens? Well, you get unrest. And then you can patrol and get rid of the unrest, but you lose population. Quite a bit of population. But for Bandar Log, well, I think only Bandar Log, potentially, there's a special event. There's a special character that will show up, potentially, that is very good at naturally reducing unrest without killing anybody off. When you do patrol for unrest, you actually kill population off. So if we can get Bandar Juna, is his name, if he comes in to the game, then he can take care of that, because also he will summon these truth seekers that will help him to reduce unrest. So I think that's going to work in our favor. We can make sure we get him. To optimize the chance, we increase our luck. Every point here is equivalent to 2% chance of getting this character, a hero, to appear. And I think Bandar Log only has the one hero, so he would show up if he qualifies. Basically, calculating it, it seems, if I'm calculating right, it takes about a year to have a 50% chance for him to show up. So, pretty decent chance. And if he doesn't, we'll do patrol. So if we give ourselves luck here, because we have turmoil, and because we have luck, our events now, it's plus 21%. That's pretty high. That means we're going to have a lot of events, and they're going to be more lucky than not. But we also going to have some bad ones. As you can see now, we're down to 65 again. What can we do now? Well, I also want a lot of research if I could, but I think it's going to be beyond me to do that. Research is very good, obviously, for getting your mages to come out, quicker, to research up in different paths quicker, not to get more mages, and that would help us a lot to get the option to get all these blood recruits and whatnot. But I think I can't really do that, because I think it's more important to get growth. If we go for 3 in growth, we get 0.6, because remember, even with Bandar Juna, and if we don't even have Bandar Juna, we have to do patrol, right? We have to basically kill off population. This will counteract some of that. So growth is going to be good. And the map I'm looking at is a pretty big map, so it might take a while. So we're going to have time to grow for growth to actually come in to play. But if I do that, I'm -55. So what do we do? Well, naturally, the Bandar Logs like the sun, the heat. But what if we don't? What if we go down? Well, now we go down to 0. They prefer a higher heat scale, so we're going to have -13 in income there, unfortunately. But I think if I do that, we still have 25 points to spend. And I could spend that on slightly better Dominion. 6 is not bad. And to go the other way and go here, can't do it. It costs too much there, right? 40. So we go down to 0. There's really not much I can do. I could get one more in air, but I think if you think about air and think about getting your mages to be as effective as possible to research, there is the Owl Quill. It's a construction 2 item. Once you research construction 2, you can cast it if you have a level 1 air mage, and that Owl Quill will give you +6 in research ability. So it would be nice to get that construction 2 and just pump that out. As Bandar Log, we don't have access to air right away as far as gems, but we could always convert astral pearls. Those are the best ones to convert, because it's only a 2 for 1. Nature gems would be 4 for 1, right? So there's that. So let's say we go up to 6 there instead. So let's do that. We'll put that at 6. How are we doing on time? Only half an hour already. So anyway, if you put that at 6, I'm pretty happy. We have 4 points left. Let's call it good here. We're going to be awake. We can use them right away. We're going to be lucky. Hopefully get Bandar Juna. Have a lot of population offsetting all the unrest we might get. and we have that pretty strong start that we can use with any kind of unit that we have at the beginning of the game. Okay, Dipolus here is going to be Dipilus. It's going to be our pretender. I'll praise him. Yeah, let's do that. All right, now let's go exit out of that, and let's create the world, and we'll go through that. Otherwise, it's going to be, I don't want to cut it into more shorter videos. So here's Ridge Pass, 362 land provinces and 30 sea provinces. We'll look at it when we get into the game. It's a pretty big map. It's pretty interesting, actually. So we'll look at that as we jump in there. Just a map, right? So this will be, we'll call it Bandar Log Blood YouTube. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, let's get started. We're going to play as Bandar Log. There, human. And then I have set them up. Let's see what I had in mind here. I have something in mind. We're going to do 6 normal. There's 6 normal. We're going to do 4 difficult ones. And then we'll do, that's 4 difficult. Then we'll do 2 mighty and 1 master. Yeah, I did not defeat difficult when I played before, but now we'll see. We'll see. But maybe we'll make the master defensive, and in the mighty ones, we make them standard. Everybody else random, so they could be aggressive instead. Anyway, we're going to make them all land nations, except 1. There is some water on this map. We're going to make that a difficult AI, so they're going to be a water nation. So they're going to have free roam in the water. They could be difficult. They could be, yeah, they could be difficult in the game. So now we have, I think, 13 here. 13 AIs against us. We'll see how that goes. And I think that's what I want to do here. Here we have Bandar Log. We're going to go and load our pretender. There he is. And I'm going to turn on, I think I keep everything normal here. Story events are enabled, all story events. We'll turn on score graphs. I want to see how things go as we play. Thrones of Ascension. We'll see how this goes. I am not 100% sure. We'll make 16 the requirement. We're going to have 16 level 1, 6 level 2, and 3 level 3. So 37 points. But you need only 16 to win. So you could have 16 there, or you could have 6 times 12. You could have, yeah, 8 or so to win. Thrones of Ascension. I'm going to allow renaming. And I think that's it, right? Score graphs, story events. Yeah, I think that's all. Let's go ahead and kick off the game. This will take a second to do. And there we are. Dipolus, God of Bandar Log, spring in the year 0. In the beginning there was chaos, and now the wheels turned once again. Let's look at the map and see where we started. Okay, so we started here. I kind of know the map a little bit now, so I can see we have the Throne of Ascension here. There's some water to the north. Oh, interesting. We're north of the we're north of this mountain range down here. And there is well, we might as well zoom out. There is our pretender. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom out. Now, you saw the game before, the map before. This map is pretty interesting. Down in the south here, we have a hot area. Up here is cold. So there is that. We have set ourselves to 0. So right now it's 0. And that's just what we have in our dominion. If we move down here, we're going to naturally get a little bit hotter. So that's actually a good start. We probably started here because there is a forest. Any forest is fair game. I like having a forest because, I didn't explain it, but we can get some units we can recruit in any forest that we have here. So that's good. We're here. Let me show you the map though. So down here, what do we have? We have 1 throne down here. Okay, that's that. We have this throne here. We don't have too many thrones next to us. This one is ours. It's gonna have to be ours, right? Now, the mountain range here is not passable. You can't get through. But from the inside, from behind here, you can see they can get through. Whoever's back here, if there's somebody, can get through here. So if you are lucky to get in here, hold this territory. You can go along the mountain range. There's no mountain pass. So we want to hold this one, if anything. If we can get in there, that'd be very helpful. There is another one down here as well. Right there. And if you look at the map, if you scroll up here, you can see there's a similar situation here. There, yeah. Then if you're wondering, green means there's a road passing through. Blue, river, can't get through it. We need to have that frozen. Here it needs to be cold to get through. Anyway, so if you look carefully though, this map has some unique features. It's not just this. Well, it has a couple of interesting things here. We have hexagons, so every one of these provinces are connected. But not all of them, but they can be connected in 6 ways. Down here we have a mountain. If you look carefully at this mountain, 3 ways here, and then 1 way, way over here into the dark caverns, the underground. So you come in here. This area is also hot. I believe up here it's cold. And what's interesting here is that all of these are cave. Darkness reigns down here. You can see that there. So it's going to be very dark down here. That's where those demons come into play. I believe they have dark vision. You can see in the dark. I sure hope they do, because that would be very helpful here. So if we were able to get in here and get down there, we can maybe take control of that, but we are quite far away. And there is a Throne of Ascension. We may want to go down south. There is also the ocean here. Remember we said we had 1 difficult AI. It could start anywhere here, or look here, there is one that goes to the underground waters down over here with the throne, so they could start over here too. I don't know if I can get into the water that quick. Remember the spectral ones? The Ganas, was it Ganas? Yeah, the Ganas, they are spectral. Poor amphibian. They can jump into the ocean. And you get quite a few of them. It's possible that we could make an effort to get some item, right? Let's look that up. That is good at getting that. We can have a commander get into the ocean and then get a lot of these Ganas. That requires us to get probably construction. We'll look at what we have in research. Go up to level 2 or 4 or something, maybe 4 in construction. And then conjuration 2 for the Ganas. But that's something to think about anyway. Generally, I think some of these that have, like this one over here, is going to be a large province. That means more money in these here. I'm not sure about this one, to be honest. There's a road leading through here. There is some income there. Remember, we have a bit of a problem here. This is what we have at the default. That's what we set up, and that's quite a bit. Growth gives us an offsetting the bad income, but not all. 19 minus 6, 13. So it is pretty bad here. We need to find money. Where do we go for that? Well, if this is a large province, it could be. That would be nice to pull that in. Here we have open terrain. Open terrain. Forest. Forest, good resource. More magic sites, hinders movement, but not lower income, right? So there is good. It's good about that. And I do want to get into the forest. If we look at our units, some of these here, these ones, these 4, you see here, it doesn't say it. It says it on, if you go into, look at the stats, look at the pretenders. I haven't looked, I'll look at these later, but you can look at them now. You probably know what they are. But if I look at us here, you can see here, I think it says, if it doesn't say, does it say? What I'm trying to get to is that if you're in a forest, those 4 units, yeah, can also be recruited in all forests. Not these, but these 4. That's not terrible, actually. They're not very good units, but they can be good. These Atavi infantry, not horrible. I kind of grown to like them. Okay, anyway. Anyway, so if we take the forest here, here's what I'm thinking now, just looking at this. We'll get a profit here, so we can take advantage of our what am I saying? Our bless, right? Remember, we get the armor, and we get that blood surge, and we can apply that to any unit we recruit that's blessed. And that will make it a lot easier for us to take these territories right away. So if we do that, and if then we take one of the forests, then we can recruit more units here, because I think we're going to be limited by, it could be money, because we're not making much, but we might be limited by resources instead, and recruitment points. And then it would be good to have another place we can do that. And looking at this here, this is the one we want to get. If you can take this one, I would love to take it and hold it. if somebody starts down here. It could be. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so we're sitting here. We have our blood fountain. Let's look at our research as well. It's random, right? So we get evocation 1, construction 1. That's good. Enchantment 1. Nothing in blood. Unfortunate. Nothing in conjuration. So nothing we can recruit right away. But construction is good. 100 points to get to construction 2. Once we get to that, lesser magic items, the owl quill. We can get that and speed up our research quite a bit. So let's take advantage of that right away. The next thing we can do, remember that Apsara takes 2 gems, no, 2 astral pearls, and you can get 3 of the Apsaras, and they are sacred. We can cast a bless on them. That only takes, let me see, I have the screen up on the other screen. Apsaras takes conjuration 3. It does take conjuration 3. Well, we can go in and look actually here. The Ganas is 2. Death. And we have that. We have a death mage, but we don't have any death gems. So here's the Apsara. So maybe going for level 3 in conjuration early is good. Yeah, there's more I want to get here. If you watched my previous play, Yaksha and Yakshini, I'll still go for them, I think, because we can do a lot with them. I think they're like the Yakshini is level 3 water, and since I did not pick any fire resistance, I may want to get that, because level 3 water is what's required. I think it's alteration 4. Alteration 4. Not ritual. Is it 4? Maybe it's even 5. Yeah, fire resistance here. Cover 15 squares. Pretty good. Fire resistance 5, because I didn't show you very much, but those demons that we have, they are sensitive to fire, so we may want to go for that. But that's far away. If you do construction 2, though, there's another thing we can do, and let me show you here on the recruitment side of things. We have the Guru. The Guru is level 2 astral. I show that because if we look at research and then go into thaumaturgy, level 2, there is Mind Burn. Mind Burn, the good thing about it, it goes across the entire battlefield, takes 20 fatigue, but it does 12 damage. There, armor negating, magic resistance negates. So you roll against magic resistance to see if you take, or you see how much damage you take based on your magic resistance. So if it's low, you take more damage. Yeah, but this one is very good. You can cast at least 5, and it's from a far away. It can take out a lot of units, I think. So I'm tempted to go for thaumaturgy, even though, what did we say? Was there something in level 5? Gift of Reason, this one. Later on we want that. We can elevate one of the Azrapas into an actual blood mage. Would be nice to get. But conjuration, we're sitting at 0. And what did we say? The Ganas can't use them, but I can on level 3. So that's level 3 minimum Apsaras. In alteration, though, it's a case we made for that too, because we can get, where is it at? Body Ethereal level 4. And then obviously blood as well. Now to get blood though, it's a demon. Demon has to be led by an undead commander. Where do we get them from? Well, that's would be conjuration. And that would be in Bane. That would be the one we get. So that's level 3. So maybe we'll go for that first. Let's get them so we can get the Apsaras. We collect, well, yeah, we're going to get a few more astral pearls. And then we can just pump out those Apsaras, I'm thinking. So let's go for conjuration, then to level 3. There. What do we do after that? Maybe blood magic. I do like body ethereal, but blood magic would be tempting. We could, imagine if you had body ethereal, because we have astral mages, that's 75% chance of avoiding a mundane attack, a non-magical attack. Plus, you have all the bless effect. That would be nice to have, but I think I don't want to wait that long. Alteration 4, we'll go to blood magic. Did we go for 3? I'm at level 1 right away. It's so simple to do. Maybe we want to get that first instead, right? Instead of all the way to conjuration 3, because our pretender can get that immediately and start pumping these out, and we can have them ready to go. I'm tempted, maybe we'll do that. Well, just to blood magic 1, we can't use it. We need a commander who is death, right? So if we do that, and then Conjuration 3, then we get the Azrapa here, this one, that we can then later on turn into a commander. Maybe something like that. And then after that, did we go for alteration? Yeah, maybe. Something like that. Okay? And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell him, become the prophet, and then you, should we go ahead and just get some blood slaves right away? Well, we don't have anybody here who can patrol. I don't want to take a hit right away to this, to our income, because that's going to be reducing our income by a percentage, right? So if we search here, not search, we'll research there. And now we have 25. Construction level 2, get that all quill. That only take 2 turns. No, not 2 turns. 4 turns to get. Okay, 4 turns. And then we have Kenku over here. Let's see. I think I want to go into the forest, because if we take the forest, we can get more units recruited here. Even though they're just marginal units, they would still be good, I think. So if we go to Ligria or Endron, either one, they both lead in here, kind of blocking that. I mean, we can't get through very easily, but in winter maybe, right? Maybe. It's going to be difficult to get this. That's going to be tough, actually. It has to be cold here. This might not be a place you can get through very easily, but let's go down here anyway. Where did we send him? Well, there is the Throne of Ascension. We're going to go there at some point, but I think I'll take... We'll go here, and then we'll swing around this way. Yeah, we'll do that. What do we have here? This is Highlands, a low income, high resource, hinders movement. And I think that's all I'm going to do for the first term. And I think I've shown you, well, let me look at the map real quick again. There's some mountain ranges here. You cannot get through them, but you can walk through the in between them here, the mountains. So once you get in there, you can travel a path there if you like. There is quite a few blocks. You can see, look at this plateau here, this giant plateau here. There is no way to get across here. See that? There is no way. Nope, can't get through. And there is a large province here, I believe. This one may also be large, and there's a road you got to follow here to get through. So this road would be the best bet. You can get across here, but it's going to be difficult. There's also a Throne of Ascension here. Yep, so you want to follow the roads. The roads are quite plentiful and be helpful to get that. And I think there are other places as well, like this one here. Can't get in very easily except here. So it's worthwhile. See there? There too. It's worthwhile to check and see if there's anything that is blocking the way. You know, there's some unique features here. Anyway, that will have to do it, guys. We'll take a look at it later, and there's a lot to do here. So come back next time. I'm going to play some more with Bandar Log, but with blood and death this time. Bye, guys.